In the heart of the great savannah, where the Niger River coiled like a golden serpent, the kingdom of Nyani waited. King Nar Magan, a wise and weary ruler, longed for an heir. One evening, a hunter burst into his court, bringing with him a soothsayer shrouded in mystery. The Nine Wives Oracle she was called, and her voice rasped like dry leaves as she delivered a prophecy. Nar Magan, she intoned, your seed shall birth a lion among men, but his path to the throne will be paved with thorns and rivers of blood. He will walk when he cannot, rise when he falls, and unite the fractured lands under the banner of the sun. The king's heart pounded like war drums. This was the sign he had been waiting for. That night he dreamed of a buffalo spirit crashing through his palace walls. He awoke knowing the gods demanded a new queen, a woman of beauty and fire. And so the search began, a quest that would ignite the spark of an empire. But what queen could birth such a lion? Word of the king's quest spread like wildfire. The oracle's riddle was strange. She who enters your house bent shall leave it upright, and from her womb shall come the savior of Mali. In the distant village of Do, his emissaries found her, Sogalan Keju. She was a maiden of fierce spirit, but her back was bent with a hump, a curse from a rival witch. The court jeered, but the king saw the fire of destiny in her eyes. It is she, he proclaimed. Their union was a solemn rite, and 9 moons later, as thunder cracked the sky, Sogalan gave birth. They named the boy Sundiata Keita, the Lion Prince. But joy quickly turned to horror. The boy did not crawl, did not stand. His legs were thin as reeds, useless. A demon spawn, the courtiers whispered. Sasuma Berete, the king's first wife, saw her own son's path to the throne secured. This cripple will never rule, she vowed. The palace became a web of intrigue where a mother's fierce love stood against the tide of fate. How long can a lion cub survive in a den of vipers? Years passed. Sundiata grew into a boy of 10, his mind sharp as a blacksmith's forge, his spirit unbroken. He listened to the griots' tales of ancient kings, dreaming of a strength his body denied him. But in the palace, cruelty festered. Sasuma's son, Dankarin, now the heir apparent, mocked him in every turn. He is no lion, but a worm, he sneered. Then tragedy struck. King Nar Magan, weakened by age and subtle poison, collapsed. With his dying breath, he fixed his eyes on his youngest son. Sundiata, you are the Keita, the chosen, he whispered. Protect the lion. The throne passed to Dankarin, and Sasuma, now queen mother, saw her chance. She banished Sogalan and Sundiata to a crumbling annex, starving them of respect and rations. On his 12th name day, Sundiata turned to his mother. Why do I not walk? He asked. Tears streamed down her face. The gods test the great ones, my son, she replied. Then came the miracle. A humble ironsmith, hearing of the prince's plight, forged a rod of pure malachite. Sundiata gripped it, his small hands trembling. With a roar that shook the palace, he plunged it into the earth and pulled himself upright. Legs that had known only dust now bore the weight of destiny. The court gasped. Sasuma paled. A lion had risen, and the hunt for his exile had begun. But a lion without a pride is lost. Where would Sundiata flee? Fearing the whispers of sorcery and the boy's newfound power, Sasuma struck. In the dead of night, her warriors dragged Sogalan and Sundiata from their beds and cast them into the wilderness. Be gone, witch and her spawn, she spat from her balcony. Their flight was a gauntlet of thorns. The unforgiving savannah tested them with sun-scorched days and hyena-haunted nights. Sundiata, now a youth of 15, leaned on his iron rod, his legs growing stronger with every weary mile. They begged for shelter, facing suspicion and whispers. But exile was a forge. Sogalan taught him the lore of his people, the songs of the stars. A king is not born of gold, but of heart, she said. Far to the north, in the court of King Mansa Konkan of Mima, they found fragile peace. The king, childless and wise, adopted Sundiata as a son, training him in the arts of war, the spear, the bow, the strategies of battle. Here, the lion cub became a warrior. He wrestled champions and outwitted scribes, winning the hearts of the people. But word of his prowess slithered back to Nyani. Sasuma sent assassins, but Sundiata was ready. With a band of loyal outcasts, he vanished deeper into the wilds, his legend growing like roots in parched soil. Allies called to him from the winds. Would he answer? Would he answer? By his 20th year, Sundiata's name echoed across the Sahel. Griot, son of the Lion of Mali, a prince in exile who healed the sick and commanded respect. But darkness gathered in Nyani. Dankaran's rule was corrupt and weak. Worse, from the east marched Soumaoro Kanté, the sorcerer king of Soso, a tyrant that crushed kingdoms and demanded tribute in blood. One night, a griot named Bala Faseke, Sundiata's boyhood companion, found him in Mema. "The ancestors weep, my prince," he sang. "Soumaoro's shadow falls on Nyani. You must return." Sundiata's heart, long tempered in exile's fire, blazed. He bid farewell to his mentor king, who gifted him 1,000 spears. The gathering began. From hidden glens and vast plains, the clans rallied to his banner. The bowmen of Kamara, the smiths of Traore, the horsemen of Keita. Under the great baobab of alliance, Sundiata stood tall, his iron rod now a scepter. "Brothers and sisters," he boomed, "we are not scattered seeds but the roots of a mighty tree. Today we march not for revenge, but for the Mali that shall rise eternal." Cheers erupted, shields clashed, and the pride formed, a host of 10,000 souls, bound by oath and song. The sorcerer king awaited. Could flesh defy magic? The plains of Karina stretched like a vast chessboard of fate. Soumaoro Kanté, atop his black stallion, laughed at the approaching army. "The cripple comes," he sneered. "I shall grind his bones to dust." His 20,000 warriors, their faces painted with runes, stood ready. Sundiata's army crested the ridge at dawn, a sea of banners fluttering like eagle wings. Bala Faseke's kora unleashed the hymn of the lion, stirring the blood of the Mandinka. "Today we end the night," Sundiata called. The clash began. Arrows darkened the sky. Soumaoro's sorcery lashed out. Phantom armies, demonic winds, but Sundiata's talismans of iron held firm. Sundiata himself charged the center, felling captains with his bow and clubbing enemies with his iron rod. In the heart of the melee, the two kings met. Spear glanced off enchanted mail. A sorcerer's blade drew blood. But Sundiata knew the legends. Soumaoro's cower lay in a secret charm, a roster spur hidden on his body. Guided by a griot's whisper, Sundiata loosed a special arrow, fletched with owl feathers, and it flew true. Soumaoro screamed, his magic unraveling like smoke. Broken and unhorsed, he fled into the bush, his empire crumbling. As the sun set on victory, Sundiata stood amid the fallen and raised his rod to the sky. "Mali is born!" But victory's price was etched in scars. What empire would rise from these ashes? Kirina's echoes faded as Sundiata's march thundered on. He swept through Nyani like a cleansing gale. Sasuma and Dankaran fled into exile, their whispers lost to the wind. The people wept tears of joy as the Lion Prince ascended the throne, not as conqueror, but as father.
he was just 22. He decreed the Kurukana Fuga, a great charter of freedoms, ensuring justice and fairness for all clans. He mended the trade roads, and the Empire of Mali bloomed, a jewel of learning and wealth, where mosques rose beside ancestor shrines. His mother, Sogalan, reunited with him in triumph, but soon passed, her long exile finally over. He built her a tomb of white stone, where baobabs now stand guard. He ruled for 21 harvests, his empire a testament to his strength and wisdom. In his twilight years,
He gazed from his palace ramparts at the prosperous land. I was the seed, he murmured to the stars, but you, Mali, are the tree. He passed into legend, his spirit forever carried on the wind with the Kora's call. The epic of Sundiata endures, a hymn to the unbreakable human roar. For in every bent back that straightens, and every exile that returns, the Lion King prowls eternal. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into African history, don't forget to like and subscribe for more epic legends. Let us know in the comments which story we should tell next.